Hello and welcome to the Health Source Podcast, your source for all things health, wellness, and lifestyle inspo. I'm your host, Beck Russell, health and life coach and the author of Life in the Soul Lane. Through conscious conversations, our aim is to inspire and empower you to live your most well, happy, and vibrant life. If you're ready to elevate your well-being, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. Are you looking to uplevel your mornings, your days, and ultimately your life? I've got a cool freebie that I think you are going to love if you answered yes. It is called Mindful and Motivated Mornings, and I created this freebie because I understand that how we start our day can really determine how our day will flow on from there. So inside this freebie, you will receive a 20-minute yoga practice, a nourishing breakfast recipe, and you'll also get a reflection journal where you can write down any thoughts or feelings that are coming through for the day. And you can also track your food, your movement, and your water intake as well. And this can all happen under 30 minutes because I know a lot of us are time poor and we're busy and we're out there chasing our dreams. So I wanted to make sure that it was able to fit into your busy morning routine as well. So if you feel like this is exactly what you need to start your day off the right way, click the link in the show notes and you will be taken straight to the download where you can start your day off in the right way. Hello and welcome back to the Health Source Podcast. It's always a pleasure to have your company here on the podcast. And today I want to share 5 circuit breakers to help you in those moments of stress and overwhelm. And even though we can do all of the things that we know that we can do to help us to have a nice, regulated, and pliable nervous system, the reality is that life is going to life, things are going to come up, and we are, of course, at some times in our life, going to experience stress and overwhelm. And so I wanted to give you a couple of tools that I have found really helpful in those times to help you to dissolve that feeling of stress and overwhelm. Now, what I will say is, or preface this conversation by saying, is that these tips and tools are a great way to alleviate stress in the moment, but for a longer, more sustainable stress management protocol, we really want to look at a holistic lifestyle approach. So we'll be looking at things like your diet, your nutrition, your exercise, your lifestyle, your environment, your relationships. All of these things really add up to your stress levels and impact the state of your nervous system. So I just wanted to say, for overall stress management, you want to address all of those different areas of your life. But in these acute situations where things will arise, these 5 things are going to really help you. So let's get into the first one. So number 1 is to take 5 deep breaths. And I can honestly say from personal experience and just scientific fact that using the breath has to be the most accessible and effective way for us to ground back into our body, to calm our nervous system, to come back into the present moment. So I really invite you to try this next time you're having these feelings of stress or overwhelm. So it depends on the situation where you are, what you're up to. But if you are just at your home, it'd be really nice if you could just sit down somewhere, find a comfortable seat, close your eyes, and take some big, deep breaths. So deep inhale all the way down into the belly, and a long, smooth exhale, breathing in and out through the nose. And if you exhale a little longer than the inhale, if that feels comfortable for you, that's really going to help you to switch into the parasympathetic nervous system, which is the rest and digest. If you feel like you really need to shift some energy, breathing out, exhaling out through the mouth just for a couple of rounds is really going to help you to shift that energy as well. But if you're at work or you're out in public, of course, it might not be as suitable for you to sit down and close your eyes and sit in a peaceful meditative state, but you don't need to. Wherever you are, whatever you're doing, your breath is always there with you. So take that time to connect with your breath. If you're in the line at the post office, if you're serving someone at your retail job, it doesn't matter. Just start to consciously connect to the breath. And the thing with that is, and I've seen this so many times in my yoga classes as well, is that because the breath is autonomous, but we can also control the breath too, sometimes we can go, if we don't consciously have a practice for us to return back to our body and back to our breath, we can go the whole day or even longer without consciously connecting to the breath. And so this is such a beautiful way for you to ground into your body, to connect to your breath. And this is where we're drawing in our life force energy from as well. So wherever you are, the breath is always with you. And just take that time to really drop into the breath. And let's do it now together. Take a long, slow, deep breath in through the nose and a long, smooth exhale. And that's just one big breath. Do that 5 times and you will feel the difference. And of course, if you have longer time to do this, take a longer time to do this. I highly encourage you to do that. But this has been the most simple and effective way that I have found to just really shift my state, to shift any anxiety or stress or overwhelm that might be lingering. So that's my first tip. Definitely give that a go. Number 2 is to stand up and stretch and shake your body. So let's use the example of you're at work, you're at your desk, you've got a pile of things on your plate for the day, and you're just going into a spiral and you're like, how am I going to get all of this done today? A really good tip for you to do is to get out of your head and get back into your body. So stand up out of your desk or whatever the situation is. Stand up, stretch your body, stretch your arms overhead, do a little side bend, shake your arms out, shake away all of that energy that is just culminating in your body. Sometimes all it needs is to move, and sometimes all it needs is a bit of an outlet. So that's just something really quick and simple and easy that you can do to shift that energy. So try that out next time you're at work or at home, just to flip the switch a little bit. And this is going to take me to my third point, which is to break the circuit. So if you find, like I said, that you're spiraling, whatever's happening externally or even internally within you, do something to break up the situation. So go outside, let the sun shine onto your face, go and put your feet on the grass, go and make yourself a cup of tea. Do something to break the circuit, because sometimes we can become super fixated or hyper focused on whatever the thing is that we're doing. And you have to be conscious and aware of when these times are happening, when this is happening for you, and you're just like, oh my goodness, what am I doing? I'm letting this thing overwhelm me. It's not even a big deal. Let's just go and get some fresh air, a sip of water, a cup of tea, and come back to it with a fresh perspective. And that's going to lead me perfectly into point number 4, which is to put things into perspective. A lot of times when something is happening for us in the moment, it can seem like the worst thing in the world, can't it? It can be like, oh my goodness, like, I don't know how I'm going to pay this bill. I don't know how I'm going to resolve this issue. I don't know how I'm going to make this client happy, whatever the thing is. And we can get into a spiral. We can just really get caught up in the moment. But if you find that this is happening to you, give yourself the gift of perspective. So again, you're going to have to be self-aware to know when this is happening, but have a think about, is this thing going to matter tomorrow, next week, next year, in 5 years' time? And this is going to help you to have a higher perspective, a different perspective, and this will bring you a little bit more comfort in the moment, knowing that this is just a small moment in time, a small moment of discomfort that I need to move through, and then I'm going to come out the other side and be all good again. So give yourself that gift of perspective. And tip number 5 is to close your eyes. And again, I know this is going to depend on the situation where you are and what you're doing, but sometimes all we need to do is simply close our eyes, bring one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart, and just connect back in with ourselves. And you can do it now if it feels comfortable for you, but closing the eyes, drawing the awareness back within, and you can feel the subtlety of your breath. You can feel the subtlety of your energy, your prana, your chi, your life force energy. And then you can almost self-soothe and just say to yourself, everything's going to be okay. Everything's going to be more than okay. It's going to be great. We just need to ride out this moment in time as best as we can. So these are my top 5 quick and easy tips. I'm just going to run through them again for you. So the first one is to take 5 big breaths to ground you back into, come out of your head into your body and connect to your breath. And it could be even the first time that you have done that today. Number 2 is to stand up and stretch or shake your body, just to shift that energy out of the physical body and to have a little bit of a circuit breaker. And that's my third tip, is to break the circuit. Go and make a cup of tea, put your feet on the grass, go and look at the sun, do something to shift and break that circuit so that you can come back refreshed. Number 4 is to put things into perspective. Take a higher view. Ask yourself, is this thing going to matter tomorrow, next week, or next year? And then number 5 is to close your eyes, one hand on belly, one hand on heart, connect to yourself, self-soothe, connect to the subtlety, the pulse of your own body and your own breath, and assure yourself that you're going to get through this and that everything is going to be okay. I hope you found these 5 tips really helpful. As I said, these are some things that I have really found so helpful to move through those inevitable times of stress and anxiety in the moment as a short-term thing, just as a reminder, as an overall stress management tool for your life. You want to look at all of the other contributing factors in your life, like lifestyle, diet, movement, your mindset, your mental health, your relationships, and your environment. So all of these things really matter, but in the moment, these are some beautiful ways for you to move through these times of stress and overwhelm and anxiety. Come and connect with me over on Instagram. Let me know if you've tried out any of these practices for yourself or what you loved about this episode. My handle is at BeckRussell_. You can also follow the podcast as well at the Health Source _ and share this episode with a friend if you think that they could benefit from these beautiful stress and anxiety tools, and they can put them in their tool belt to help them as well. And as always, I so appreciate your reviews as well. So if you have just a spare moment, I would really love if you could leave a review if you have been enjoying the podcast. As always, thank you so much for being here. I'll be in your ears again next week. And until next time, take really good care of yourself, and I'll chat to you again soon.